everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Kevin's Corner. This is episode 9, and my next guest with me is Fruit Casket. So, Casket, would you like to introduce yourself for those who may not know who you are? We're good now? Did you want to try speaking, Casket? Hopefully, it's going to pick it up.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Are we back?
now it's picking up. I am so sorry about that, guys. OBS decided, like, hey, wouldn't that be really funny if I just crashed on you right there and now? But yeah, we're back. But yeah, Casket, I'm so sorry. Would you like to try introducing yourself again for those who may have not heard?
Of course, of course. Hi, hello. Let's start from the top. I'm Casket. I'm a friendly ghost VTuber. I play a lot of variety games on stream. Pretty much anything you can think of, really, besides first-person shooters. And I also do ASMR. I do some art. I host my own show as well. And yeah, I do a little bit of everything.
Mm. I can just imagine the Casper, the friendly ghost theme in my head. But it's like, oh, Casket, the friendliest ghost, you know. but yeah, that was my first question. Is how did you get started? What made you want to stream, and how did you come up with your name and VTuber model?
Oh, okay. Well, I am one of those rare VTubers that like actually has been following VTubers for a while. And it was something that I like always wanted to do, but I kind of like got in my own way about it and got in my own head, and I was like, well, I don't know if I would really be good at video games. I don't know if I would really be entertaining enough to watch on stream. Like, um just like negative self-talk, you know. And so it took me about 5 years, no exaggeration, to actually like find the motivation to stream on Twitch, to like give it a try, you know. And then outside of that, like once I actually started doing it, once I actually like took the first step and started, like oh my god, it was so easy. Like it felt like I was meant to do this, you know. So that's probably the most rewarding part of it, is that not only do I get to like create content for other people, but I'm also like kind of like working on myself at the same time. So it's kind of like, you know, two birds, one stone. And that's kind of where my VTuber model and like my character idea came from. That same like notion, like my past self was kind of like holding me back, you know. And I felt like I couldn't really grow as a person being who I was. So I talk about a lot, or I say this a lot, where I say, you know, I had to like become a ghost to like actually feel alive. You know, kind of morbidly kill off my past self in order to move forward and become who I'm actually meant to be. And my whole like premise of being like a friendly ghost is maybe loosely based on Casper, because like I really am just out here trying to like make friends and create a space and an environment where other people can come together and find kinship and friendship through liked interests and, you know, things of that sort. So all of it is kind of like tied into the same answer in a way, you know. And like for my character design, obviously I wanted to it's actually funny because it started with my username, because I didn't want to get rid of my Fruits Casket username, because I was Fruits Casket way before I was a streamer. And I loved it too much. So I kind of made it inform my VTuber. So there was actually a version of Casket that existed before I decided on the ghost for sure. That was a fruit bat inspired VTuber, or like a vampire, but for fruit instead. And that's why, like, part of my character design, you can see parts of like the vampire that is still inspiring the ghost, like the red eyes and the fangs and the little like bat on my dress. Um, so yeah, I just felt like the ghost fit me a little bit more than the fruit bat vampire vibe, you know. And then I just kind of like haven't gone back since.
That's an interesting origin story, especially the 5 years it took to stream part. Was there like any particular moment, like during those 5 years, it took you to fully get streaming that made you say like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm not gonna wait anymore. It's time.
Yeah, actually, there was one thing that happened, and that was I made a new friend, and this new friend that I made, her brother was a streamer, and we, the first game that we ever played together, um, really like settled the fact that it was something that I like really like enjoyed. For those of you from my community that are in the chat right now, the first game I ever played on stream before I was a VTuber was Monster Prom 4. And my friend's brother was a streamer, had basically just his like group of friends, his like IRL homies in his stream playing the game. And we were all like narrating it. And like, it was my first time like reading like characters on stream and stuff. And I had so much fun. Not only was it the first time I was playing that game, but it was the first time I was live on stream. And after we were done playing that game and like we got off call, my my roommates, Knox and Levi, they were both like, Cass, I don't think we've ever seen you happier. Like, I think you need to do this. Like, I think you need to like just try it and see what happens. And that's another reason why I still play like Monster Prom all the time and why it's like one of my favorite games, because I have such good like vibes when I remember it, you know? So, yeah, that's what caused me to actually like pull the trigger and be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna try it. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I just don't like it anymore. Then I just won't do it again. Like, you know? So, a lot of people nowadays will be like, Casket, like, you know, how do I know if I want to start streaming or whatever? And I'm usually just like, I usually just shrug and go, I don't know, try. Why don't you just try it? If you don't like it, then you can just stop. But
Well,
you might like it.
yeah, well, that's an interesting story. I know for me, like I kind of dabbled in it, and then I just started. Okay, well I guess it wasn't for me, and I would just be a viewer, and I got it back into trying it again, and now I enjoy it. I think with the evolution of the technology, I think it just makes it a lot easier too.
That is very true too. And like another plus of being a VTuber is like you don't really have to like I really feel for people who are like IRL YouTubers that, you know, always have to like I don't know, get camera ready, so to speak. Like I feel like being a VTuber is really nice because for my personal benefit, self-esteem wise, like the your viewers, the people who are viewing you are viewing who you are on the inside. So like you can't really create or you don't really invite the kind of like negativity that is assigned to like how people look, like outwards appearances, like normal everyday life. And I think that really kind of like lets you shine as who you are rather than who other people assume you are going to be, you know?
For sure. I'm very curious. I know you mentioned that it took you 5 years to like really fully get into streaming. Like, why 5 years specifically? Was there something specific that was holding you back, or saying like, I'm
Oh,
not ready yet? If it's
it was just about that time. Like, when I first discovered VTubers, like, um, it was it was a really like um it was like right around like my birthday. So that's why I can like kind of know exactly when it happened, because when I first discovered VTubers, I was like, oh shit, that's so cool. Like, I love anime. Imagine if you could like just take your own personality and like be a VTuber, or I mean, and be a YouTuber, but like as an anime character. Like, that's just so cool. And like, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, I think I could really do that, but I just don't know if like, because most of the content creators I was consuming at the time were playing video games. And at the time, I had a bunch of shit friends that were telling me I wasn't good at video games and that like I wasn't a real gamer because all I played was like visual novels and like Minecraft, you know, like the creative mode, you know. So at the time I was like, well, I really would love to be an anime character, quote unquote, online and like, you know, have fun, but I didn't want to get like made fun of on a grand scale, you know. So I think it really took like me kind of eliminating that group of friends or and like deciding to kind of take the plunge and try something new. I think it was just one of those moments where like I grew up enough as a person to kind of be like, all right, fuck it. Like if I don't like it, who cares? You know, like at least I tried something new. And sometimes that's kind of like the mentality you have to have, you know. So it's I think it was just a coincidence that it took me roughly 5 years to kind of come to that conclusion. Um yeah.
Mm. So I'm curious from your personal perspective, what's it like to be a VTuber and what makes VTubing so special?
Um Outside of the things that I've already talked about, what makes it so special, I think, is the communities that you can create. Like, for me, that's my big thing. Is you know, not only is it helping me, like, you know, internally, but on the outside too. Like, one of my goals was to like, you know, let go of what people you know expected of me and let go of like toxic friend groups and like create a space where people could like be who they are. And I think that's probably the uniqueness of being a VTuber is like you get to create a space that's curated for like-minded individuals that are just like you know? And like I feel like for my unique perspective, I like to promote diversity. So I really enjoy that there are people from all walks of life that are in my community that are like, you know, able to feel comfortable enough to be who they are. And that for me makes VTubing like the standout, like worth it thing, you know, because it's not just me that's benefiting from it, it's other people as well. It really creates like an escape in a way from like reality or from like your everyday life, from your stressors, from something, and it becomes like a an interactive experience that is a little bit closer or feels a little bit closer than just like sitting down and putting on a TV show. You know, now instead of sitting down and putting on a TV show, you get to like sit down and like interact with someone, be part of something, and also like influence others to be accepted and like loved in a space like what we have. Like I'm just that is what I'm the most thankful for, and what I think other people would possibly benefit from if they chose to go down this road too.
Now, I know you recently debuted. What was that like for you personally? Just like leading up to the debut and actually debuting your 2.0 model, which I just say congrats, by the way. It really is a well
Thank
done
you.
model.
Yeah. So I'm kind of I feel like I'm an outlier in this way, right? Where I have known that I wanted to debut a 2.0 of some kind on my 1 year anniversary of streaming, right? So I've been kind of preparing for the 2.0 debut since January. And the lead up to it was so excruciating because I'm just such like I just can't stop planning things. Like I'm always planning ahead, planning for the future, and like looking towards something, setting goals, trying to stay motivated. And I I really I had it was like a double-edged sword. It was like I had so much ready way before August that I was like so antsy to debut her. And then on the other hand, there was still so much to do by the time July rolled around and I started like rolling out teasers on like TikTok and YouTube and stuff that it was kind of
At
like
work, so I'll be
down to
lurking. Oh, okay.
maybe
Good luck
maybe
at
not like
work.
down to the wire per se, but like it was down to like day of me still setting up things, still trying to like prepare because there's a lot involved with it. And I think a lot of people like you can kind of do what you want. You know, you don't have to be, there's no rules. That's another freeing part about it is that if it's your community, you create your own rules, right? But it was a lot of like build up to something that could have, maybe not gone well, and like I think I got really lucky because I prepared that I actually did not get I pat myself on the back for this. I did not have any scuff on my 2.0 debut. And that I think alone was the most satisfying part of it. It wasn't necessarily like revealing the model and having everyone love her so much. I kind of I was going to debut her and love her whether everyone loved her or not because I worked so hard on her. It was just the feeling of seeing all of my hard work um, finally be like displayed for everyone and then like seeing everyone be so happy for me. I think that was the best part. Like and getting to reward all of the community too with like all the art and all of the like fun merch. I just dropped that merch today, so like I everything has just been so like e- every part of the 2.0 debut has been very rewarding, and every stream since then has felt so much more empowering for me. Like I feel like my new model definitely represents me more than my 1.0 model did, for sure.
I know the biggest surprise, especially for me, was that human casket reveal, like towards the latter
Oh
part of
yeah,
the
the
stream.
reveal.
Yeah, I'm curious. What was the idea behind that? Because I love the concept of it.
Oh, just people won't stop talking like about like a casket before. So like my whole premise was, the ghost casket didn't remember her life from before because for me VTubing was like a clean slate, fresh restart, try something new, see if it works. So a lot of people throughout the first year of my stream journey would be like, how did you die? How did you become a ghost? And I would always just be like, well, I don't remember because I'm a ghost, right? I don't remember how I died. But it really got me thinking, like, okay, if my community and also people who are just finding me have this question, I should probably answer it, you know? So that's kind of what made me start thinking about it. So I released my 1.0 official lore in January on New Year's. And then since I dropped that, I started thinking about what would Casket's story have been? Who am I? What story do I tell as a streamer? And how can I make my like real personality make sense with like a backstory that makes sense for Casket? So like the human kind of came from that. And it was also kind of informed of like, you know, my content that I make, right? Because Human Casket is basically a witch, right? But she's not a malicious witch. So, she's reading tarot in the lore that I dropped. That's something that I'm doing with my community. There's also a lot of the 2.0 lore that involves the human casket is about her death specifically and how her death changed like her personality from being this like shy girl that's trying to hide everything that she's doing into a ghost who's not afraid to be herself and inspires other people to do the same, you know? Um, and also, I made her death be something that um, could be uh, a mystery when you read it, you know? Like, you don't necessarily know that the lore is going to end with her demise until you, like, get there, you know? Like, so I liked the shock value a lot of revealing the human model because the whole time I've been Casket, I've been like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything. I like to think that the community really enjoyed it and also love that there's like a prequel now to who I am as Casket.
Well, I certainly did. I love the lore behind it too because it's just very interesting and it makes you think and wanna maybe try to put out there like, okay, well, what really happened? And what's the fun thing to try and go?
Yeah, yeah. I think it just got to a point where the community or just anyone who was in my chat wanted an answer. So I was like, all right, bet. I'll double down. I'll give you guys an answer. And I think she's really cute.
So I'm curious, what is it about your community that makes them so special as both a VTuber and a streamer?
Oh, I mean, just the fact that we're all one of my favorite things about being a streamer isn't just like everything I've already said, but it's also the fact that the community can come from anywhere all around the world. So I think the best part of my community is that it is literally people from all over the world. I'm one of those like logic driven personalities that looks at my like stream stats and my you know where people are watching me from, and I have a good chunk of my community that are watching me from the UK, that are watching me from Australia, that are watching me from the Philippines, and just to like name a few. And I think that is one of the most rewarding things because my community is built on commonality. It's built on acceptance and friendship. And it's beautiful to think that, you know, uh, people from the Philippines and people from the UK and people from Canada and the United States and, you know, everywhere, Japan, all kind of come together and harmonize and get along and actually have more in common than you might think.
For sure. Also, I love the little running joke. It's like, oh, okay, we're gonna make you get water and hydrate, and yes, we promise we'll be active, and we'll try not to be gone when you come back, as it was done in the stream yesterday. I remember like when you stepped away, I was like, okay, chat, quick, do something before she gets back.
Yeah, I love the interactivity, not just with me too. Like that's my big thing with my community is like I love that my community talks to me and wants to be around me, but I also love that they want to be around each other. Like that is a really big thing. That's why when I was like, okay, I got to go get my pizza, you guys keep talking to each other. Like keep the chat alive while I'm gone. Don't just sit here and wait for me. Like keep keep talking to each other because it's so much fun to like make friends and I don't know, harmonize in that way.
Now, I'm very curious. I know you're a very big fan of Fruitback, which I believe your name was inspired off of. Hope I'm correct there.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm.
yeah. Well, I'm a goth girl, so I took Fruits Basket and made it goth. That's that was
Okay.
the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
premise
So,
of it.
what is it about fruit baskets that you love so much?
Oh, Honda Toru, hands down, the main character, that girl is so relatable for me. Like she's so much like who who I who others perceive me as like IRL, like being super selfless and wholesome and like being a um a source of friendship, like being at the core of all of your like connections, you know, because that is what Honda Toru is. She makes people like um realize like the goodness in like existing, and like that is something that people have always told me about. Like I was always told me like I do that for people. So seeing Honda Toru go through those like uh the things she goes through in that show is a big reason why I formed such a connection to it. And then the fact that like it's also about the zodiac, and it's also about like, you know, cute boys. Like I could keep going on and on and on. There's so many reasons to watch that show, for sure. And it also touches on like important subjects like real like grief and love and respect, and you know, it is so much. You can learn a lot from watching Fruits Basket.
As someone whose favorite character is Honda Toru, I am so happy. She is a precious being who needs to be loved and protected at all costs.
Yes, yes, and I'm sure my friends in chat would agree that I probably match that description a little.
You hear that, chat? She's a precious being. She needs to be loved and protected at all costs. uh, my next question for you is, what made you wanted to have the vibe of your stream and play the game that you play and the story times that you do on your streams?
Oh, a lot of it is because I have ADHD, Kevin. Like, to be honest, a lot of it is because I have ADHD. So I used to not, I I used to sit here and be like, I'm going to play a video game. And then I would end up not playing the video game. I would sit at my desk and try to, like, Fields of Mistria specifically was one of the first video games that I tried to play on my PC. And I would sit here and play. And then I would get distracted. And then I would end up, like, I don't know, scrolling on my phone or like watching a YouTube video or like doing anything other than what I'm actually sitting down trying to do. Or on the other hand, I would like be in like that functional freeze state where like if I got off work and had a really hard day, I would come and intend to play a video game and I would end up not doing it. And I remember being like, I'm not really like actually doing the things that I love to do. I'm not actually doing anything that's making me enjoy my life, you know? So the content that I stream is all things that I actually want to do, and it's almost like accountability. Like if I use my book reading ASMR streams for example, I love reading. I do not have the attention span to sit down and read a book anymore. Like, I think the last time that I actually read a book prior to me streaming on Twitch, it was an audiobook. Like, I'm pretty sure I transitioned into audiobooks so that way I could be doing multiple things at once because I can't just sit still and read a book. So, reading on stream in ASMR is like two birds, one stone, because I'm getting a chance to read books. Right now, we're reading books that I've never read before, and it's so much fun because I'm sitting here not just doing it for myself. It's like a cheat for my brain because I'm doing it for someone else. I can sit here and lock in and read this chapter, you know, like um, that's just one example, but pretty much all the content I make is stuff that I want. And I just am so bad at letting myself do the things I want.
Yeah, as someone with ADHD as well, I know that struggle all too well, and that's just a great way to help you keep focused too.
Yeah, and I'm also a big believer on like whether you're a streamer or not, if you're doing something with at least one other person, then it kind of like um time flies by, like you end up having more fun, like it's more like it's about like the camaraderie of doing it together, you know. So the doing it on stream with my community, like with my chat, is that on a greater scale. Like we all get something out of it. And I finally get to finish games. Oh my god, I've finished like 8 games since I've been a streamer. And before I started streaming, I've never finished a game. I think the only game I ever finished ever was like Link's Awakening on the Switch. I think that's the only game I've ever fully finished. So And that took me years.
Is there a game that you've always wanted to finish but haven't done so yet, and you told yourself like, okay, I'm gonna finish this game and I'm gonna do it on stream, and the chat is gonna root for me, which I'm sure they will.
Uh, I think every game that I play on stream now, I kind of have that thought process about. But before, if there were any games that before I wanted to beat but didn't, and then I did on stream, I would say the first game was Split Fiction. Split Fiction, that like duo game, the multiplayer duo game that you can play with another person. That game I started before I was a streamer, and I was just so much self-doubt, just being like, I'm too scared to play this game because you have to shoot people. You have to like drive a scary car. You have to like, balance on a tightrope, like that kind of stuff. And I was just so like down on myself with my like gaming skill that I was like, I don't really think I'm ever going to actually finish this game. And then when I started streaming, we totally beat that game. Like it just ended up being not as big of a deal as I was making it be.
Now, one part of your streams I love the most is the story time stream, especially with the rain background, because it's so relaxing. And I'm not afraid to say I have fallen asleep to those story time streams.
Good. Good.
Is there a book that you really want to read on stream in the future? I think you're doing Howl's Moving Castle at the moment. I hope I'm getting the title right, or my memory.
Yes, yeah. I'm in we are currently reading the trilogy, the Howl's Moving Castle trilogy. So we read book 1. We just finished book 2 last Saturday, and we're starting book 3 this Saturday coming up. And the book 3 is titled The House of Many Ways. And definitely this series is something that I've always wanted to read, right? So I'm glad I'm doing it now. But if I'm looking into the future of books that I maybe haven't announced yet, I plan for spooky season to read some horror novels. I think that would be really fun. And I think I might have mentioned on stream at least once that I was heavily considering The Haunting of Hill House, because that is a series that I really love. And I know that the book is good. So I would love to like experience that with everyone else on stream too. But whether or not everyone will fall asleep during my spooky readings, that's a different scenario altogether, huh?
Yeah, I know. Especially when they keep you on edge. Like one of the books I
Yeah.
remember reading, well, I had to read it for school, was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I don't know if you
Tell in the
remember
dark,
that book
yes.
or have read it,
I
but
sure
that always
do.
kept me on
Yeah.
edge.
Yeah. I also see someone in chat saying Sleepy Hollow when? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm just saying. Maybe. Maybe.
You never know what the ghost has up their ghostly sleeve.
Yeah, but I also like to make things interactive with the community too. So, who knows? You guys might see a poll out eventually about horror books for the coming season. Wink, wink.
Yep, so keep your eye out, chat. But but yeah, so on to my next question. Is there anyone you'd really love to collab with in the future, or any type of stream you've always wanted to do but haven't done yet?
Um, a type of stream that I've always wanted to do but haven't done yet is definitely the easier of the two questions, because when I think about if there's like a collab, like a dream collab that I would like to do, I don't know if I necessarily have one. Between you and me and everyone else here, collabs kind of stress me out a bit. So I kind of can only do like 1 or 2 a month before I'm a little spent, maybe 3 if I really plan for it. But it's a lot of like social interaction and also keeping up with chat, also being respectful of the other person you're streaming with. I feel like I don't really think about who, oh, it would be a dream of mine to collab with this person. But I do think it would be cool to be able to interview some of my like Oshis on like my open casket show eventually. I think it would be a lot of fun to get the opportunity to like draw an emote for like someone I really look up to and also like ask them questions just like you're doing for me right now. Like um that is something that maybe doesn't quite count as a collab, but that I would be interested in doing on stream. Um and the other thing I really want to do eventually, and this is like down the line shit. This is like when I'm living in a different place. But I think it would be a lot of fun if I could do like cooking streams because I love to cook. That is something that I finally have more time to do now that I'm a full-time streamer, and I've been really, really enjoying it. So I think maybe a dream of mine would be to have like a hand cam, like cooking stream of some kind. Um, Almost in the way that like I don't know if you're familiar with like Babish on YouTube.
Yep, I
But
absolutely am.
the way that he does some of his like cooking videos with where it's like, you know, shoulders down, no face. Like I feel like I could do something like that as Casket maybe in like a couple of years or something if my living situation changes. It would get a lot easier.
Ooh, that would be exciting. Is there like any
Mm.
particular thing you would love to cook on stream for your chat to watch?
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of food I'm really good at cooking. I'm not so much a baker myself, so I think it would be fun to like challenge myself to bake instead. But if I was going to choose a food to cook, I think it would be real cool to do like a lasagna or like a shepherd's pie or like something like that. Or even like fuck it, even like burgers or something handmade, homemade that people love but haven't maybe done my way. And then I think it would be cool to like share my own homemade recipes and stuff too.
All right, lasagna and shepherd's pie. You're speaking my language. Please send some my way if you ever do.
Maybe eventually, a couple years.
So I'm curious, what made you wanted to become a full time streamer, and what was that transition like, and what
Oh,
and and what's that
okay.
been like for you personally?
Um, well, I got fired from my job. So that was the big reason why. Um, no, I this has been my goal this whole time. Like when I started streaming and I realized how much I enjoyed it, I was like, okay, we're full sending this. Like, this is what I want to do. I can feel it. And this is this is something I talk about with my community a lot. But I was an art director full time for like a print and mail shop, and I worked there for 6 years. And when I was let go, it was following me giving them my 2 weeks because they were um, frankly treating me poorly. I'll leave it at that. And so I gave them my 2 weeks, and then they turned around and they told me to just pack up my stuff and leave right then. So that was a pretty scary moment because I'm not just taking care of myself. Like I'm also considering like the household that I live in. Like I live with two other people who are my family. My but I hate feeling like I can't be self sufficient or independent or take care of myself. So, whenever that did happen, it was kind of scary because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I remember like the first couple of days that I was unemployed, I was applying like crazy. I like redid my resume, I was applying to everything I could think of. And then I, and the way that I parted ways with my job was also pretty public too in my community because I don't believe in masking or like faking how I feel. So like if I have a scheduled stream, I'm going to go live no matter like what mood I'm in, you know? So I chose to go live, and everyone knew my situation, and everyone was very supportive. And the transition to being a full-time streamer wasn't totally my decision. I feel like the community helped me make that decision because they were so full of belief in me. I was able to believe in myself as well. And now here it is. We're almost midway through August, and I was let go from my job midway through June. So it's been a good chunk of time. I was able to pay all of my bills and take care of myself for the whole month of July because of the generosity of my community and because everyone believes in me and knows that, like, this is what I love, you know? And I really don't think that I don't think I would be able to do this without the community that I have and without, all of the love that they have for me as well.
And that's the beauty of having a very supportive community too, is that it keeps pushing you to go forward and gives you a reminder of like, even when things are looking down, you do have a nice support group that will be there for you and will motivate you
Yeah,
to go forward.
exactly. Exactly. And like they're also a big reason why I do art commissions now. The art commissions are like, I know I keep saying I'm a full-time streamer, but honestly, um a lot of the I wouldn't say a lot, maybe 50-50. I would say 50-50 of the reason why I can continue to do this and I'm not panicking trying to look for a job anymore. 50% of it is coming from my art commissions now. And that is something I never expected, that I would get a chance to use my talent, my skill with art, and have that actually be part of the reason why I'm able to be self-sufficient now.
One thing I remember during your 2.0 debut stream, like you were getting like subs and bits and had a really good high stream going. And everybody was like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like W sub, W bits, and
Yeah.
good job." What did that feel like for you?
I mean, I cried. I'm a crier. I cry at anything that I deem like excessive support. Like if someone is giving me more than, you know, one sub, I'm gonna cry. If someone is giving me more than 100 bits, I'm gonna cry. Like I just can't. It still is so surreal and crazy to me that people want to support me like that. Like, so how did that feel? It felt really overwhelming in the best possible way.
Hey, let the happy tears flow. I say.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I know you had a series, which of course is bringing back, called Open Casket. What was that like, and what made you decide to bring it back after being on a hiatus?
So, Open Casket originally was a way for me to practice my digital art. Because when I started being a streamer, I was like, this is a great opportunity for me to learn a new skill. And I was like, I'm a classically trained artist, so I know how to draw, I know how to paint, I can use pastels, like gouache, acrylic, whatever, watercolor, you name it. I can pretty much do it. And I was like, the only type of like quote artistic medium I haven't really tried to tackle is digital art. I had never tried it. I had never had the means for it. So I ended up kind of scheming this way to do art streams because I didn't just want to do art streams. I wanted it to be a way for me to also be interacting. I wanted to not just be silently drawing, So I was like trying to scheme a way of like how I could be making this into something where I'm like constantly talking while I'm drawing. And that's kind of where Open Casket started. I started reaching out to my friends and being like, would you mind if I like gave you free art basically if I like made you an emote on stream and like maybe just asked you questions about it. And the very first episode of Open Casket is a understandable mess because I didn't have questions written down. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have anything. I was just like, I'm going to go live and do an emote for a friend, and whatever the stream is going to be is going to be. And the first episode wasn't even called Open Casket. It didn't even have a name. It was just Art with Casket or something like that. And it ended up kind of forming itself in a way based on like how we ended up making that stream, because it was a lot of me asking my friend questions like about their character design, because I was actively drawing their art. And I was like, oh, why did you choose to do this? Like, and they were like, oh, it's because of my lore. And I was like, oh, well, tell me about your lore. And then it just kind of like came from there. So now, fast forward, I have 2 seasons of Open Casket under my belt, and it has become a show where I draw an emote, and I have a streamer or a small VTuber or someone come on to my show, and I ask them questions. I ask them about their stream journey. What's it like to be them? Essentially, I ask about their lore, their character design. I usually ask like fun, uh, um, like questions, like what's something your community doesn't know about you, like things like that. And then during that process, I'm actively drawing them an emote. And then at the end of the stream, I give them the emote, and you know, we conclude the like quote interview. Um, I'm bringing it back because, well, really, I never intended it to go on a hiatus. What ended up happening was I took a couple of I took a little bit of time to think about how I could improve the next season of Open Casket, because season 1 and 2 originally were supposed to be um, transferred into like long form YouTube videos, not necessarily VODs. And a lot of the individuals that I was kind of conscripting to help me with that project ended up not really providing me much assistance at all. So I was like, okay, how am I going to make season 3 stand out from the content that I created for season 1 and 2? And I've decided to wait to bring it back until after my 2.0, because I want to change the format a little bit. So it's going to be all new questions. But I am going to be bringing back some of the cast of season 1, because in season 1 I had shit audio. I didn't know what I was doing. I was really like feeling out my own my own space. So season 3 is going to have a lot of new things with a lot of familiar faces, and I hope that anyone who plans on watching comes with some curiosity. And that's all I'll say for now until I actually release the lineup of what I'm thinking about. But just know it's going to be fun, and it's going to look a little different than it used to.
Oh, I'm very excited to see what you got planned. Were there any memorable guests that you've had on your past shows that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I am really excited to get a couple of my original season 1 guests back on, because a lot of their character designs have actually changed, and a lot of their lores have actually like been more explored and are a little bit more fleshed out now. So specifically, I'm looking forward to having my friend Uni back on, because she has basically had a complete transformation since the last time she was on my show. And I also think that in the past, one of my favorite episodes that I did was for my good friend Kaisu. So I'm really looking forward to getting him back on the show as well, to kind of like talk about how much can change in a year, because a lot can change in a year if you're motivated enough. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Are there any memorable stream moments that have really stood out to you that you remember the most?
When I finally beat Kingdom Hearts 1, that's probably the biggest thing because I never thought I would do that. That game was so fucking hard. That game was so hard. It was so hard. And I did it. And now I kind of feel like if I can beat that game, I can probably beat any game if I try.
You beat Sephiroth or Sephiroth too, right? If I could speak right, because woo boy, that boss was hard.
Yeah.
Well done.
It was rough. It was rough. But I'm really proud of myself because that's something I never thought I would do. And truthfully, I think beating that game leveled up my gaming skills a lot and leveled up my confidence playing games. So now I can play games like Homura Hime and beat the game way before I thought I would, because I have like the like gamer sense that I never used to have, you know. So thank you, Kingdom Hearts 1, for being so difficult, because you made me a better gamer.
Uh, so I know you've interviewed people on Open Casket, and now I'm interviewing you. What's it like to be interviewed versus being the one who interviews other people?
It's really interesting because it kind of is making me a little bit more introspective than I thought I would be. And something that chat might not know is that I chose to come on this show and do this because I wanted to kind of see what it's like to be interviewed. I wanted to kind of get that perspective of, okay, this is content I make, but I've never been on the receiving end of it. And I wanted to kind of see, like, how I can potentially improve my format for Open Casket. Like I said, since I'm going to be changing up the format a little. So being on the receiving end of it, really makes you, I guess, look for the right way to answer the questions, because I feel like a lot of these questions I've answered before on stream, but maybe I haven't packaged these answers in this way before, if that makes sense. So it is kind of interesting to have like a back and forth and discover what you ask me live, instead of like being prepared, instead of having like because you did send me like some questions of like examples of what you would ask. I'm going to be totally honest. I did not read them because I wanted to come in here like fresh and be like, okay, well, I'm just going to answer honestly, and it's kind of nice to feel like I don't have to prepare and that I can just lay back, quote unquote, and be just vulnerable and honest with my answers.
Well, that's a very interesting answer. I know a big reason why I like to do these Q&As. I like to get the perspective of the other person because everybody has different origin stories. Everybody has different perspectives on things, and just hearing all those stories very much fascinates me. And when I ask my questions, I like to ask more like the deeper dive type of questions. And oh, well, what's your favorite game, anime, etc., etc. No, I really like to get to know my guests more. And usually, when I reach out to them, I lay everything out. I give example questions, so okay, so that they're not surprised, and I give examples of my past work so that they see what I have done, just to
Yeah.
hopefully make them feel a bit more comfortable than saying like, oh hey, do you want to come to my thing?
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I mean, I think everyone's different. I think there are a lot there's a lot to be gained from having the preparation of like being able to be like, okay, I know I'm going to be asked this question so I can prepare this answer, but I feel like that would kind of go against the way that I like to make content, since I try to be as like honest and authentic as possible with every stream or everything that I kind of like put out, even if it's at my own expense. So the this format gave me the opportunity to kind of do the same thing and be like, okay, well, no matter what questions you ask me, I'm just going to answer honestly. That's just my um method of doing things, I suppose. And you're right, it is really interesting and fun to kind of hear everyone else's perspective, because you can ask the same question to a million different people and everyone will have something different to say, and it is pretty fascinating to kind of get the opportunity to um I don't know, learn from others. You know what I mean?
Now, VTubing has exploded within the past year. It used to be, mainly Hololive, and if there were any VTubers, it was maybe in a small area in the dealer's room, or maybe one little panel at a convention, and now we have a whole area of a convention dedicated to VTuber and meet and greets, and tire conventions like Offguide that just
Right.
recently happened, dedicated to VTuber. Where do you see VTubing going from here?
Honestly, I mean, we've even already had VTubers in like Fortnite. So I kind of think that VTubers are gonna be um more present in ways, more mainstream ways. Like, because if we think about the evolution of like um anime, for example, I know when I was in like grade school, I was made fun of heavily for being interested in anime. And now you look at like, kids growing up and going to school, and they're not made fun of in the same way for liking those things. If anything, those kids are the kind of the cool kids. So like I think everything kind of comes full circle eventually. And I think that maybe 5 years ago when I was discovering VTubers, it was a little bit more taboo, you know? Like, people didn't really understand it and didn't want to understand it. So I know when I was consuming VTubers like 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, technically, um, I was kind of hush hush about it, just like I was when I was first discovering anime because of the misunderstandings that people had about it, because being a VTuber isn't always just playing pretend, which I think some like pretentious people assume. Um, and I think now, fast forward to now, a lot more people know what a VTuber even is, and a lot more people accept that kind of content. There's more of an understanding. So I think if we were to fast forward 5 years from now, I would probably say you could probably see, a VTuber doing the halftime show or something. Like, I fully anticipate there being more virtual content creators, maybe not in the way we see like on Twitch, but even on just like normal streaming services. I would say television, but I digress. Most people watch like YouTube, Netflix, things like that. I think you're going to see a lot more virtual content creators outside of Twitch the more time goes on.
Now, how has streaming and VTubing evolved for you personally, like from when you first started up until now?
I know more things. That's I think the main thing is that it's you're constantly, when you try to become a VTuber, you are constantly learning. You are constantly learning, period. Everything. You're constantly learning softwares you never thought you would need to learn. You're constantly learning technologies you never thought you would need to learn. You're constantly learning about different conversion rates of currency. And you start to realize like how much there is that you don't know. And I think for me, I've just learned a whole lot. Like, a year ago when I first started doing this, I was so scared of editing videos. Editing videos was like this big like boogeyman that I did not understand at all. And like now I'm putting out one TikTok a day, roughly, average, So I think that just I'm just terribly proud of myself and my growth like not only just internally with my own like mental health struggles, not only with seeing how far I've come as like a gamer, but I also like I know so much more than I used to. I know how to edit a video. I know how to edit audio. I know how to make a stream. I know how to use StreamerBot, and that is by far the top thing that I never thought I'd figure out. So, um, I think my own stream journey has told me that I can pretty much do anything I want to do if I set my mind to it.
Well, that is wonderful here, and you certainly have come a long way, and I'm very proud of you for that.
Thank you. I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing every day, but you know, I can recognize the growth and that I've come a far away from where I was before.
Hey, look, imposter syndrome is a whole running thing amongst us streamers and VTubers.
Yeah, for sure.
So my last question for you, Casket, is what advice would you give to anyone who would want to get into VTubing and streaming?
Oh my God, do it. Do it. Try it, please. It's so much fun. I enjoy it so much. Do not believe the haters that say, oh, it's a saturated market. Who fucking cares, man? Do it. Have fun and like be yourself the whole time. Don't like, I would say, don't worry about what you sound like, who you are, or any of that. Just try it. Just try it. You will have so much fun. You will find your niche, I promise. You don't need to be exactly like anyone else. You can just be yourself and find your following, find your community, and you'll end up thriving, I promise.
All great words of advice, indeed. Well, Casket, I would like to thank you very, very much for coming on to the show. And
Of course.
where can people find you?
So I am one of the unfortunate content creators that has to add VT to some of my usernames because there are imposter fruits caskets out there that are using my username instead of me. So you can find me on I know, boo, exactly. You can find me pretty much anywhere as Fruits Casket, except for Twitch and Twitter. On Twitch and on Twitter, I had to add VT at the end of my username. So you can find me on Twitch at FruitCasketVT, Twitter, FruitCasketVT, and then YouTube, I'm Fruits Casket. TikTok, I'm just Fruits Casket. And you can also find me on Coffee too. I do art commissions. So I would love to get the chance to create something for you as well.
Hmm. Well, thank you excuse me. Thank you once again very, very much, Cass, for coming on, and thank you everybody for tuning in. I don't know when the next episode is planned, since I'm actually going to be at a convention over the weekend volunteering.
Oh,
But
fun.
yeah, but when I do have that planned, I will announce it. And I say let's raid MEWMEX. I know she raided you at one point. I say we return the favor.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
yeah, she's a say so bunny girl VTuber that actually did her own debut not too long ago. She's a sweetheart. So let's give her a lot of love and support.
Okay, sounds good. And thank you to everyone who showed up today for me. I see you guys in chat and I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Until next time, bye everyone.